Coming up on UI7 News, an update on the missing Saudi Arabian journalist and what it means to the U.S.
A memorial garden is dedicated to missing U of I international scholar Ying Zheng.
And later, a popular campus spot is robbed. UIPD needs your help to identify the thieves.
This edition of UI7 News starts right now.
From the Richmond Journalism Teaching Studio at the University of Illinois campus, UI7 News, your U of I news source.
Good evening, I'm Mady Bunton.
And I'm Malec Caudell. Thanks for joining us. We begin today's newscast with international news. Saudi Arabian journalist Jamal Khashoggi's body was cut up into pieces as he was killed 2 weeks ago. This comes after Turkish officials searched the consul building for 9 hours yesterday evening. Officials would not comment on how the body was disposed. CNN's Nick Robertson takes a look at the actions leading up to Khashoggi's death.
Jamal Khashoggi, a leading Saudi journalist and former government advisor, came from humble roots, getting his first boost studying journalism at Indiana State University, benefiting, like many of his generation, from a Saudi government grant for U.S. education. Returning home, he reported for Saudi and regional newspapers. His first major break came in the late 1980s, an overseas assignment to a war zone, Afghanistan. At the time, Saudi intelligence services were working with the CIA to oust the Soviets. A source close to Khashoggi says he got to know many of the young Saudi jihadists flocking to the fight, including Osama bin Laden. He had connections and caught the attention of the then Saudi intelligence chief, Prince Turki Al Faisal. The pair became close, despite Khashoggi's sometimes critical reporting. Following al-Qaeda's 9/11 attacks, Khashoggi dared to ask the question few other Saudis would. Why did 15 of our young men attack America in so brutal a way? In 2002, as Saudi authorities battled al-Qaeda on their own streets, his knowledge of the terror group led to a job advising Prince Turki, and made him useful as the country struggled to contain the chaos of an insurgent movement at home. In 2003, when Turkey became ambassador to the UK, then DC 2 years later, Khashoggi followed him. Eventually, he returned to reporting. His criticism of the kingdom's conservative clerics would cost him his job. When Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman began his ambitious reforms, Khashoggi was a fan, but his ruthless methods rankled Khashoggi, and he crossed an invisible line.
I received a phone call ordering me to go silent, with no court decree, with just someone from the royal court, an official from the royal court who was close to the leadership, and ordered me to be silent. That offended me.
He fled Saudi, leaving his family behind, writing for the Washington Post.
President Donald Trump continues to make the news, having lashed out at Senator Elizabeth Warren over her DNA test results. The results indicate that Warren was either 1/64th Native American, meaning an ancestor as much as 10 generations removed would render the Massachusetts Democrat only 1/1024th Native American. Trump says she is getting slammed over what he claims is a scam and a lie, despite Warren's proof, and has called on her to apologize. Warren is striking back at President Trump over his constant ridicule over her claim of Native American ancestry, saying comments Trump has made are creepy.
The president has insulted the physical appearance of porn actress Stormy Daniels in a tweet about a recent legal ruling. A federal judge dismissed Daniels' defamation lawsuit against Trump, alleging she had an affair with Trump in 2006 and sued him in April. Trump tweeted, "Great, now I can go after Horseface and her third-rate lawyer." The defamation lawsuit came after Trump tweeted about a composite sketch of a man Daniels says threatened her in 2011 to keep quiet about an alleged affair. He called it a total con job. The judge on Monday said Trump's tweet was a hyperbolic statement protected under the First Amendment. Daniels' attorney, Michael Van Addi, called Trump's comments outrageous. Ying Zhang will forever be remembered here on campus through a garden after her disappearing last June. On the corner of Goodwin and Clark, more than 100 people came out to the dedication as this was the last place she was seen. FBI claims Zhang dead, but the memorial is a way to keep her memory alive. During the dedication, there was a reveal of a stone that said a Chinese visiting scholar who went missing on June 9, 2017. Defendant Brent Christensen said his attorneys may have more time in the trial if they present a mental health defense. The trial is scheduled to start in April. Joining us now live is our own Addi Ippensen to give us our first look at our weather forecast.
That's right, guys. We're gearing up for a wonderful week so far. Mid-50s actually is going to be consistently all throughout the week and to the weekend. You're going to see a little bit of clouds towards the end of the week, but nothing too bad to worry about. Some perfect fall weather, especially with all the sunshine that's going to be coming up. But no worries, I have the full forecast for you coming up later on in the show, so you definitely won't want to miss it there.
We are about halfway through October, which means Election Day is just weeks away. UI7's Malec Caudell talked to more subtle members of the ballot.
I headed out to see how a political party is gearing up, and it wasn't the Democrats or the Republicans. Take a look.
For most, the farmers market is a place to come get veggies and enjoy the open air. For Vice Chair John Perticus of the Champaign County Libertarian Committee, the market is something more. It's a chance for him to get some literature out. He says most people view politics as a two-way street, when in actuality, it's more like a roundabout.
You can't have a political conversation without, oh, you think this, you must be on this team. You don't agree with this, you must be the red guy, you must be the blue guy. Everything's two-dimensional, it really isn't.
On the second Tuesday of every month, he packs up shop and heads from the market over to the Libertarian Committee meeting. This time around, they have a guest from the Republican Party, Gordy Holton. Libertarian Chair Russ Clark says they listen to both the Democrats and Republicans.
With the Democrats, we're very strong on individual rights. With the Republicans, we have a very strong affinity for strong financials.
The Libertarian Committee knows the importance of getting the younger crowd involved in the proceedings. That's why they invite UAUC Libertarian Party President Sam Erickson to all their meetings.
Historically don't get invited to things. So we kind of have to, insert ourselves into, meetings and events and just make sure that our voices are heard.
From market to meeting, the Libertarian Party might have a humble presence, but they remain confident in their beliefs.
Continuing our election coverage, the governor's race isn't the only one on the ballot this November. There's a new position up for election on the municipal level. Gordy Holton is a Champaign County clerk and is running for Champaign County executive. Holton stopped by the U of I to talk to some journalism students about Illinois voting rules, procedures, and election media coverage. Holton is in charge of organizing elections in the county. He stressed the importance to students of voting in some way, whether it's here or back home. And if you haven't yet registered to vote, don't worry. Illinois has same-day voter registration. Head over to the Champaign County Clerk website for more info.
In other political news, ahead of Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation, the Universalist Church of Urbana-Champaign held a vigil for Dr. Christine Blasey Ford. Sexual assault survivors shared their testimonies and lit candles afterwards in support of Dr. Ford and all survivors. At the end of the vigil, all participants were welcome to light candles. The event was to open to members of the congregation and the community at large. Unitarian Universalist Church Reverend Florence Caplow reflected on the attendees' experiences.
Talking about how this whole question of remembering details, anybody who's actually lived through that knows that in the middle of that trauma, the details are not what's remembered, but the body and the spirit and the mind remember the trauma. So those were the kinds of things people were saying.
A piano accompaniment was present all throughout the event, and survivors were hoping that their testimonies made waves.
Still to come on UI7 News, thieves robbed upwards of $6,000 worth of items at a popular campus spot.
And later, correspondent Bobby McSwine joins us on set to give a health update. Stay with us.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Hello and welcome back again.
UI7 News reporter Andrea Flores visited the Idea Garden, which has been recently hit by a stint of crime.
Urbana Arboretum's Idea Garden, master gardeners are packing up tropical plants for the season. But ongoing thefts that started last summer has gardeners packing light. These volunteers have had enough, including gardeners Katie Kelsey and Don White.
You know, it's just that you have things that people enjoy that were not purchased with state money. This is money that's generated by master gardeners, and then people walk off with it. It's a shame.
Some of the items stolen include plants, outhouses, and bird baths. Even benches and beloved rabbit statues like these here have been swiped. So far, there are no leads. But University Extension educator Ryan Pancaw has his suspicions.
We're pretty confident it's somebody that knew what they were taking, and it wasn't just a random plant that somebody dug out of here.
For Ryan Pancaw and the other master gardeners here at the Idea Garden, the thefts are not so much about the money lost. It's about losing out on their hard work and items they love that crushes their morale. University police have increased patrols, but it's hard to keep a constant eye on the entire garden. With no electricity currently running through the garden, cameras are out of the question.
We're just going to keep rebuilding, rebuying, unfortunately. But it is a little sad that it's gotten like this. Like I said, the bunnies have been here for 13 years. A porta potty, some of it is senseless.
So far, it's estimated that over $1,000 in plants alone have been stolen, not including other missing items. This remains an ongoing investigation. In Urbana, I'm Andrea Flores, UI7 News.
Particularly hard. Some of the items stolen include a two-person bench, an outhouse, and the iconic rabbits that break off the entrance. Viewers with any information are encouraged to contact UIPD at the numbers listed 217-333-1216. The Lane Connection in Champaign is a place that believes everyone should be able to enjoy the charm and freshness of a farmer's market. Occurring every Tuesday from late spring to early fall, this event is open to the public and features lots of vendors who bring produce, meat, and crafts. There's even live music. In the interest of keeping the market open to all, the Lane Connection offers snap matching, a system that allows less fortunate patrons to swipe their link card in exchange for tokens to spend at the market. They even go one step further and match the purchase up to $20 each week. Market Director Sarah Simzian explains the importance of this benefit.
People don't have much money left on their accounts, so what we do is people can swipe for any amount, even just $1, we give them an extra $10 to spend. And so that's really helped get a lot more people able to stretch their food budgets at the end of the month.
The market will continue for a couple more weeks until the end of the fall harvest.
Correspondent Bobby McSwine joins us in the studio for your UI7's Health Minute. Bobby?
Yes, thanks, Mady and Malec. Good evening, Alani. We have a few stories for you for your global and local health minute. You have all you need to know in current health news. Health and technology meet with a new app called Driver. It is just launched in the U.S. and China. The concept is to connect patients to the best possible cancer treatment by aggregating knowledge. So a patient gets the app, gets a biopsy, and sends those results to a lab Driver has set up in either China or the U.S. to get treatment options. The app is expensive, $3,000 plus $20 a month for full service. They're trying to bring the cost down. Dr. Will Polkinghorn is the co-founder and CEO. Here on the U of I campus, midterms are underway and it can put a lot of pressure on students. Stress Management Peers, a student organization on campus, works to help this cause. Savannah Hubley, the group's advisor, says they promote a healthy campus.
We're all about creating a happier and healthier stress-free campus. So we go out and facilitate workshops, do different program outreaches and campaigns to promote healthy stress management on campus.
One such program is their Positivity Tree campaign, where they encourage students to write positive messages for others. Jessica Kawawiak, president of the group, says it's important to put your mental health first.
A lot of students do feel like they feel guilty about being stressed, and they're so busy they forget to self-care. So one of the things we also want to emphasize that it is important to put your self-care before anything else, or to balance it.
For your Health Minute, I'm Bobby McSwine, UI7 News. Yes, that group was such a positive group to talk to. They go around and do campaigns, giving people good messages, and just overall providing a stress-free campus. And I really like that about them.
Seemed like it was a pretty good time. Yeah, seemed like they had a really good message and really good motivation there. So it was really great.
Definitely.
Absolutely. So Homecoming 2018 is in the books. Find out what effects the weekend had on the local economy.
And it has been a chilly start to the work week. Is a warm-up in the forecast? Our own Addi Ippensen has the answers coming up.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education? What are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else?
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills. The smarts? Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself? What are you gonna make of me?
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Another homecoming has come and gone, and for current students and alumni, Homecoming Weeks is an opportunity to build school spirit and bring alumni together. But for Champaign-Urbana businesses, it's like Christmas come early.
Homecoming brings a large revenue potential to Campus Town. From hotels to restaurants to game day apparel, this special event is about more than just the game. It's about making money. And Game Day Spirit Manager Corey Schumer couldn't be more excited.
I mean, Homecoming, you're talking about the single biggest sales weekend for us for the entire year. I mean, it's a well-known tradition. It's fun to watch alumni come back and interact with existing students.
Not only does the week increase the store's inventory levels, Champaign County Chamber of Commerce Sales Director Brian Murphy says the benefits extend beyond the store walls and out into the community.
So I would say it's a boom to local businesses for Homecoming Week. Probably one of the biggest effects is with the hotels. Hotels get booked up immediately.
Murphy says according to the Economic Development Corporation, sales increased by at least 40% during Homecoming Week. Restaurants and even food trucks in Grange Grove capitalize on the annual festivities as well. Food, clothing, or just plain good old business, there seems to be something positive for everyone during game week. Homecoming will continue to be an economic boom for Campus Town for years to come.
In other homecoming news, the Illinois State Police released the results of their alcohol countermeasure enforcement detail. The purpose of the program, to curb underage drinking. During the evening of Saturday, October 14th, 14 total citations of alcohol purchase or possession by minors were issued at various campus bars. The most citations were issued at Brothers Bar and Grill on 613 East Green Street. Homecoming saw some near freezing temperatures that have lingered into the week. Let's turn it over to UI7's Addi Ippensen to see if the cold is here to stay.
Well,
Happy Tuesday evening, everyone. And yeah, Malik, we might be seeing a little bit of cooler temperatures, but the sun is here to stay, and so that's going to help us get through the beginning of fall with all these colder temperatures we're still kind of getting used to. If you look outside your window right now, you're going to see mid-50s, some nice sunshine still with a sunset at 6:11 p.m. tonight. We've been seeing some gorgeous sunsets, so please take a picture of those and send them into our social media accounts. We'd love to feature them on our broadcast. Looking more towards the local temperatures here, we're going to be seeing some pretty consistent ones. You know, life isn't consistent, but today's temperatures really are. Again, all across the local temperature area here, pretty much straight mid-50s, and that's pretty nice to see, as well as going throughout the evening. Moving out a little bit further, Midwest temperature is going to be about the same thing. Mid-50s up into the 60s. Nothing too crazy to report on here. This is pretty usual for this time of year coming into mid-October. Moving on to national temperatures, we again see pretty consistent here in the Midwest. Over in LA, man, I wish I had that weather. 80 degrees. Would love to see that, but you know, no, we're not quite that fortunate here in the Midwest. Something good to note out tonight, or here in Dallas, it's actually a lower than average temperature. They're seeing quite a few storms with only a high of 47 at the moment. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that one as those storms roll through. Moving on to tonight and looking here back locally, we are going to see an overnight low of about 38 degrees, but it will be clear. Shouldn't see too many problems with tonight's overnight temperatures. A little bit of wind, but nothing too bad. This morning you might have woke up with a little bit of frost on your car or on your windows. You won't probably see that as much going in tonight because the temperature is a little higher, but it's always good to bring in those plants or those pumpkins you might have outside, save them from the frost as we move into these colder temperatures. And moving on to our 5-day forecast, you know what? This is pretty nice for me. If we're going to have cold weather, I'd love to have a little bit of sunshine in there too. Mid-50s all throughout the rest of your week and a little bit of a high on Saturday, 58, 60 area. Overnight lows consistently about in the 30s. So overall, not too bad as fall begins to roll in.
And that's it for your weather. Roger, what's coming up on sports?
Well, it looks like we'll find out after this breaks with our sports report coming up next.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education? What are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else?
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills.
The smarts?
Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
It was homecoming weekend as the Illini squared off against Purdue on Saturday. The Illini were hoping for their first back-to-back Big Ten win since 2016. The Illini got on the board first as this 52-yard pass play from A.J. Bush to Reggie Corbin. That play set up a 5-yard touchdown run by Bush. But that's the only points the Illini scored for the rest of the game. Purdue dominated the Illini on both sides of the ball, tailing over 600 yards of total offense and holding the 5th-ranked Big Ten rushing offense to only 69 yards. Illinois had no answers for Purdue, as Lovie Smith said yesterday.
Again, guys, we can talk about that Purdue game the rest of the time up here. I don't have any answers for you. When you don't have a lot of answers for what happened, you go back to work, which we'll do.
From the gridiron to the hardwood, the Illini basketball team is just 2 weeks away from tip-off. Second-year head coach Brad Underwood has been on the recruiting trail, signing promising freshmen to learn his system. On Saturday, Illinois held an open practice for their loyal fans. The team has only 2 returning starters from last year in Trent Frazier and Kipper Nichols. The rest are freshmen or graduate transfers. But of the young players, 2 4-star recruits joined the Fighting Illini, leading Underwood to believe the youth will bolster the team.
But for the most part, this group is unselfish, they're together, and they play really hard. And I think at the end of the day, I think we'll have really good depth as well.
The Illini opened their season on Friday, November 2nd in a home exhibition game against Illinois Wesleyan. In Major League Baseball, the postseason rolls along. The Los Angeles Dodgers hosted the Milwaukee Brewers for Game 3 of the National League Championship Series last night. The Brewers jumped on young righty Walker Buehler early as Ryan Braun rips a double towards the left field corner as Christian Yelich hustles all the way from first, giving them a 1-0 lead. The bats didn't cool down as Orlando Arcia extended their lead with a 2-run opposite field bomb to give the Brewers a 4-0 lead. But Brewers starter Jhoulys Chacin stole the show as he struck out 6 over 5 in a third scoreless inning. But in the ninth, the Dodgers weren't dead yet as they had the bases loaded with 2 outs. But closer Jeremy Jeffrey struck out Brian Dozier to strand the bases loaded and secure the win to take a 2-1 series lead. The Brewers will continue their pursuit for their first World Series berth since 1982 this evening. Well, that's it for your sports news. Now here's Nora Rogers with this week's entertainment report. Nora?
Thanks, Roger. Good evening, everyone. In this week's entertainment report, we have canopies full of music, movies full of poison, Kanye West in the White House, and A Star is Born on screen and soon to be in real life. The Canopy Club presented a dual show with artists Manic Focus and What So Not performing back-to-back on Saturday night. The performance began with an opening act by Yoshi. If you were around last weekend, another artist paid a visit to the U of I campus. Jesse McCartney, who released music for the first time in 4 years, performed in Follinger Auditorium this Saturday, where he serenaded fans and performed a cover of Leona Lewis's Bleeding Love, which he wrote for her debut studio album in 2007. And the box office was booming this weekend from the new Sony production of the Marvel character, Venom.
What the hell are you? We are Venom.
The film is the top seller for the second week in a row, bringing in over $140 million.
I have a parasite.
Directed by Bradley Cooper, A Star is Born is in second place for the second straight weekend.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna sing that song that I love.
Picking up over $95 million in gross revenue. Cooper himself stars in the film alongside Lady Gaga and Dave Chappelle. Speaking of comics, Kanye West said that wearing a Trump-supporting hat gives him power and makes him feel like Superman. Thursday afternoon, the rapper paid a visit to Trump at the White House where the two discussed gun violence in Chicago and West's own mental health. He also brought in an idea for a new Air Force One design.
I brought a gift with me right here. This right here is the iPlane 1. It's a hydrogen-powered airplane, and this is what our president should be flying in. Look at this jerk.
And rounding out your entertainment news, Ariana Grande and Pete Davidson reportedly split, and Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are expecting their first child. Lots of news and lots of entertainment. I'm Nora Rogers, back to you guys.
For more of our stories, give us a like on Facebook or follow us on Twitter.
To get the most up-to-date news, subscribe to our YouTube channel.
So Roger, you got anything new over for us in sports?
Yeah, Game 3 of the ALCS is on right now. Boston's up 2-1 in bottom of third.
Nice.
Addi, any updates with the weather?
It's still looking great. A little chilly, but the sun's out, and it's going to be an awesome weekend for sure. Definitely get out there and enjoy the fall weather while it lasts before the snow starts to come.
Well, looks like that's going to do it for us here over at UI7 News. Our next newscast will be this Thursday with our 5 p.m. crew.
For all of us here at UI7, thank you for joining us and have a good evening.